Hello everyone, this is Aaron again. I want to do a video because I'm deeply hurt and saddened because my favorite scope in the whole world was recently discontinued. So I've done a couple of videos on this scope, and so I won't get into too much of the details of it, but I want to talk about this scope because I have so much respect for it. Now I think I have 8 guns. This is on 6 of them. And the only reason this is not on the other 2 is because they have night vision on them. But I respect this scope so much, and I remember how I came to it. I was watching Ted Holdover, and at the time Ted Holdover had this scope on and recommended it. And I went in and bought it. And when I bought it, that was it. I didn't want to look at any other scope. People telling me about other Discovery and some other scopes out there. I looked at them. They couldn't hold a candle to this in terms of features and price. So let me talk a little bit about this scope, and then the reason I'm doing this video is to tell you what the alternatives are for this scope now, and I have them over here. We're going to talk about those scopes in a minute. But let me just say this: if you can find one of these, get it, because I think it's the greatest scope out there. But with that, let me talk about the features of this thing. Okay, we're talking about, if you haven't watched my videos before, we're talking about the Leapers UTG 4-16 x 56 millimeter SWAT mil-dot scope. And let me just talk about it. Now they also make another one. I think I have one of those, maybe 2. They also make I think it's an 8-24, and I bought an 8-24 because I was going to be doing some long range shooting, and I wanted to be able to zoom that thing all the way in. But with that, you lose some mil-dots, and I won't talk about that. That's another time. But I do have one of those. But this scope here, features of it again. All right, let's talk about it. Here, 56 millimeters. Okay, big. Just suck it in light. Everything's going to be crystal clear. At low light, everything's going to be crystal clear because there's so much light. And not a 1-inch barrel like on some, but a 33 millimeter barrel on this thing. And then back here, you have a 36 color. 36 different colors for the crosshairs in this thing. Now I was watching a guy. Somebody told me about this guy who I think all he does is review scopes. And he said, "Aaron, go watch this guy. I watched him, and he was talking about this scope, and he said and one of the criticisms he had of it was, who needs 36 colors?" And that was one of his criticisms of it. I don't care if it have 10 billion colors. You want to go use one, you're going to find the one you like and use it. So I turn him off right away, and I don't even listen to him anymore, because if he's stupid enough to make that statement, then I don't believe anything else he's talking about. But anyway, but it does have 36 colors you can choose from, between the red, gray, and black scale, and all the colors in between. Another thing I love about this thing is this side wheel focus. And let me just say this. They do still make, I believe, maybe a 50 millimeter one, but you have to focus it up here. And I guarantee you, if you got something out there, you do not want to be reaching forward and trying to twist this thing to focus it. This side wheel, and they also make an aftermarket side wheel for it that you can get and put on this thing and make it so much easier for focusing it. And it also comes with the UTG rings. I find that these rings here are just, they're so accurate at long range. And what I say about that is this: just think of this. If this thing is on this gun, and something isn't milled right, either in the gun, and that's never the case, but in the rings, if it's just off by a hair, at 100 yards, that gun is going to start to shoot more and more left or right. It has to be right on for you to be able to hold that thing dead on. I've seen some scopes where I saw guys actually aiming to the left of their target at long range and hitting it, and that was because, maybe I'm pretty sure it was because the rings here were not lined up, and at great distances that little hair gets wider and wider and wider. At 100 yards, it might be this wide. So I love the scope. I love the rings that come with it. I love the 36 colors. I love the side wheel focus. And I love the total clarity this thing gives you, because it just grabs and sucks in so much light. So that's all I wanted to say, was how much I love this thing, and the fact that they discontinued it is a hurting thing now. And I'm going to be looking for them. If I find them, I'm going to buy them. just to have some reserves for the future, because I'm never going to buy another scope. Especially when you consider the fact that the first one I ever got, I think it cost $139. And then later on, the price went up and up. And I think the last one I bought was $240. And as we know, over the last 6 years, everything has gone up. But this thing is worth even more now because it's gone. You can't get it. So for someone who wants one, they'll pay a premium price to get it. So if you're out there and you have one, you want to sell and and you're reasonable with it as a used item, make a comment and we can talk. But the one that they were comparing this one to at the time though was the Hawk scope with the side focus. And a guy did a video on it and he showed it at different distances and different light and that sort of thing. But to me, the only thing I liked more about that one was I really did like the crosshairs in it. The crosshairs in the Hawk scope were much better, in my opinion, in terms of being able to shoot at different ranges and that sort of thing. The mil dot setup in there, I really liked it. But it was $500. And this one was, at the time, I think it was right around $150 or so. So that's all I want to do is talk about this scope, talk about how hurt I am. Now, let me just set this to the side and talk about something else here. All right. Another scope they discontinued, and I'm glad I got one of them. This would be my long range scope. Okay. Now this is their Leapers 10x, so it's a standard. It doesn't have it's not one you're gonna be able to zoom. This is 10x 50, and anyone who knows how to shoot out there knows that the 10x is mil dot correct. Let's just say your half mil dots, your full mil dots are a full minute of angle, and I won't get into all that. You can find videos on it, but this one is also discontinued, and it is called a UTG 10x50 SWAT mil dot scope. Side focus again, 36, everything new on the other scope that it has. Only this one is locked in at 10. And I really love this scope because with your mil dots, let's just say if you're zooming in and out, your mil dots change. With this, that's not going to happen. Once you know your mil dots all the way out to whatever range, that's where this baby's going to be shooting at. And this was discontinued a few years ago actually, before the one that was discontinued. So with that, I just want to talk about those scopes and say that they're no longer available. If you ever want to get one, good luck. But let me just say this: what do we have now as a alternative to this scope while staying with the UTG? Let's take a look at that. Be right back. Okay, before we go on, there's one thing I need to add. The scope we were just talking about, it has etched reticle. Okay, etched reticle means this. If you're looking into a crosshair, I remember in my old days when I used to be shooting very high-powered brake barrels. I would shoot, and sometimes I even seen the wire break one time. And it's actually a wire going down and across. Okay, and I've actually broken those at least on 2 occasions. On some other scopes I had that were I think they were just too cheap to absorb all the impact from that gun. But with the etched reticle, you don't have to worry about that. It is etched into the glass. It is sharp and crystal clear on that. On these, they don't say etched glass, so I don't think it's etched in as it was there. But let's talk about 3 alternatives that we have in terms of scopes. The first one is this little baby, and I think a lot of people would love this. This is the 3 to 12, 44 millimeter. It's called a mini SWAT mil dot. And as you can see by comparison, let me just give you a comparison here. And as you can see by comparison, this little fella here is really, really cute, and it gets the job done. But as you can see, it's not going to suck in nearly as much light. But it's not that light. It's really heavy, maybe almost as heavy as this one. But the thing about it is that it is compact, And yeah, would it look better on this gun? Yes, it would look much better on this gun as a compact scope. But as you know, I do pesting and hunting videos. And so I gotta have something that's gonna gather a lot of light, because I got a phone on here, and that phone needs all the light it can to record what it is that I'm doing and the shots that I'm taking clearly. So that's why I can never use this. But I just wanted to show you the difference between the size, because the rest of the sizes are about the same as this one, but the objective up here is not quite as big. Okay, be right back. Okay, so we're back, and so this first one that you may want to look into is again 3 to 12, 44 millimeter. It's the mini SWAT, and it's a great little thing. It has everything the other one has. It has side focused. It has 36 colors. It comes with the rings, scope mount rings, and also it will take what you gotta have. You gotta get one of these. If you buy a UTG scope, you've got to get this side wheel. It's gonna make it so much quicker to focus in on your play and get rid of the parallax. Okay, so one objective that's out there. I'm not going into price, because I'm gonna tell you, when I looked this up, I saw prices starting pretty low to pretty high. So just if you look into it, just look at all the places you can get, Amazon, eBay, and just go with your best price if you want to get that one. But the quality of this thing is just as good as the quality of the 56 millimeter. Now, I also purchased 2 others, because I'm going to get some more guns, and I'm going to be putting these on there. So let's get into those. Okay. Again, one thing I love, they all come with the rings right in the box. All right, so I got 2 scopes here. Take both of them out. I got 2 scopes here, and both of these can be gotten. I got all these on eBay. And the first one here, now these are different, because even though the first one says, okay, this one's a 3 to 12. And the 3 to 12, it's 44 millimeters, so that's the biggest you can get them now. No longer 56, okay? No longer 50 as in that 10 power, but now you can only get them in a 44. This is a 3 to 12 44. Again, it comes with everything standard on there that I told you about in the past. It takes the focus wheel, and everything else is the same. Then the next one you would have as a choice would be the 4 to 16. So you got a 3 to 12, and a 4 to 14. I'm sorry, 4 to 16. These are the 2 scopes that are left. Now, I would like to do some side-by-side comparisons, but unless you are out there and you're really crazy about, as I am, about recording every shot, and you would see a difference in terms, I don't know about clarity, but in terms of light gathering, especially if it's dusk or dawn. So basically, that's all I want to do. I want to come back and tell you that, hey, that those scopes are discontinued. If you can get one, get one. And if you don't like the size of those, if those are too big for you, you can always go with the little compact fellow here. But those are the scopes that are left. And for me, I wanted to try all of them. It's just to see how they were in case I need to get some in the future. And so, and want to recommend them. I will probably come back and do a review on some of these scopes later on. But right now, I just wanted to do one to let you know that that's those guys. Those of you that bought them, and a lot of you guys contacted me after they did those videos, and I told you where to get them. I hope you got one. Can't get them anymore. Got to go with the 44s. With that, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time and for watching and for commenting and for subscribing. Still haven't hit that 10,000 mark. I think I'm probably in the neighborhood of 300 away or so away from 10,000 subscribers. Hoping I can get there before fall. Anyway, thank you guys, and you guys keep it safe.